Are we headed to a real estate crash, or are we headed into more of a real estate boom that we've seen in the last couple years here on the Central Coast of California? Well, today we're going to be answering that. I am Josh Ferris with Atlas Real Estate and Investment, a realtor here on the Central Coast, and I'm going to be taking a look and walking you through some important trends that we've seen in the last year here. Median days on market, median sales price, how that correlates to the median price per square foot, month supply, active listing, all of that, which is going to tell us what we might be trending towards. So if you're a real estate investor, seller, or possible buyer here on the Central Coast, or really anywhere in California for that matter, this is going to be a good video for you to pay attention to. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you have any comments about where you think the real estate market might be heading. I'd love to hear them. So let's go ahead and get started. So, like how I always start these videos, let's go ahead and just talk some numbers, talk what the trends have been, okay? We're going to take a look at the active listings like I talked about, and we've seen a continued reduction in the active listings. So those are listings that are currently active, available for purchase, okay? So we're not taking a look at pending, we're not taking a look at canceled, we're not taking a look at closed listings, we're just taking a look at what's currently active on the market for you as a buyer to buy, or for you as a seller to take a look at as a comparable. Median days on market, we've seen the median days on market reduce over the last year, and that really has been very important for us. And what are the things that you need to be paying attention to when it comes to median days on market is how quickly you need to act if you are a buyer. Now, if you are a buyer and you're looking to buy real estate, you need to understand that the median days on market gives you a good indicator of how the real estate and how quickly you're going to be needing to act and put an offer in. For example, I just helped my grandparents here, and they submitted an offer on a house. They moved from LA to here on the Central Coast, and they had to submit an offer within, I think it was 2 days that we submitted an offer, and we were the winning bid on it. There were a few other bids, but they actually reviewed offers, and I'm seeing this pretty consistently. They had to review offers within the first, I think it was 3, 4, or 5 days, something like that. So it was a very short window of time where we had the opportunity to see it. So if you are a buyer, the median days on market gives us a good indicator of how quickly you need to act if you do see that listing on the market. So right away, you need to call your realtor. If I'm your realtor, you need to call me, and we'll go take a look at that property. But usually you need to see it within the first few days. If it's within a general price point, if it's really a high-end luxury home, generally those stay on the market a little bit longer. Same thing with manufactured homes, they tend to stay on the market a little bit longer. The median days on market for January of this last year was 15. In October it was 8. So you can really see the contrast between last year, or in January, versus now. We're going to take a look at the active listings here. So active listings in January, we had 553. In October we had 448. So we're seeing that there has been a reduction in the active listings. What do we expect when we see a reduction in active listings? We see that price active listings reduction, and we're seeing the median days on market being reduced. Well, we're seeing the opposite go up with the median sales price and the price per square foot. So as we see a trend down for the median days on market and the active listings available, we see that as a supply shortage. And that's what we typically see here when the sales price goes up. So what we need is more, either a reduction in the demand, right? A reduction in the buyers, or we need an increase in the supply. And we're going to talk about that later in this video for what we're seeing and what we have seen, what's been driving these trends. But for right now, we can see quite consistent with the rest of the last of the year. We have seen the prices go up and the median days on market go down. Sales price January of this last year, this is the median sales price, was $673 here for San Luis Obispo County. In October it was $757, and so that gives you a good indicator that the price increase almost $100,000, just a little shy of that. The median price per square foot in January of this year was $379, and now we're seeing $467. So all of this really gives us an indicator that we have still a strong seller's market. Now, a strong seller's market, it means quite simply that you present your house on the market and that you're able to get a good price per square foot, and you're able to get a lot of potential offers. I just talked to a listing agent that sold a home on Los Osos, and they listed for $600,000. It was just a 2-bedroom house, and ended up they're going to close here very shortly for $700,000. Now that gives you quite a contrast, right? And now, like I said, we're going to talk about why that's happening later in the video, but we're just giving an indicator that it is a seller's market. It's still a seller's market. All the trends are moving towards a seller market. If you are a buyer, you need to act quickly. You need to be pre-qualified, like I talk about in these videos all the time. Now, there still are great opportunities out there, and the Central Coast, I don't think, is ever going to lose its demand. So if you purchase a home now and you're thinking about equity and price going up or staying at least somewhat consistent along the flow of inflation, right? You don't want to lose money when you buy a house and have it become unattractive to buyers out there. Well, I don't think that's going to happen here on the Central Coast. There are a great number of people who want to live here, and you get a pool of buyers from Southern California in the LA area and Northern California in the Bay Area. And a lot of those people are retiring with work from home. They're able to work anywhere really, and so they come and they live here on the Central Coast. So that's some of the rationale, the behind the scenes, behind the curtain. I talk to a lot of buyers, I talk to a lot of sellers, and we're seeing a lot more buyers move from out of the area to here on the Central Coast. So that's something to keep in mind. If you are a local, understand that there is increased competition for those homes, but only in particular cities, and we're going to go ahead and get into that. Let's talk about what we've seen as far as particular cities versus the county, and where if you are a buyer, it might be a good idea to look, especially if it's your first home or you're moving out of the area, you sold a home and you're looking to live in this area. So those are just some things to keep in mind as we take a look at these numbers and as we think about what the future may be holding for us. Now, if you are a buyer on a budget, Atascadero and Paso Robles are going to be your best bet when it comes to the median sales price. So keep an eye out for those cities if you are looking to move here or buy your home on the Central Coast. Taking a look at months supply though, you can see that the inventory for Atascadero is pretty tight. Paso Robles is probably going to give you a few more options along with Arroyo Grande. When compared to the percentage drop for the county in active listings, we see that Paso Robles has maintained its inventory, Atascadero now down 9%, and Arroyo Grande 12%. Now taking a look at the last year's chart, we're seeing that Santa Maria hasn't dropped quite as much as the other cities in regards to their active listings. Santa Maria and Nipomo have maintained their active listings relative to the other cities there. So there's a bit more inventory in Nipomo and in Santa Maria if you are interested in taking a look at South County and you're not looking in the Paso Robles or Atascadero regions. And taking a look at some of the coastal cities, we have seen in the last 3 years the largest increase for the price per square foot there in Pismo Beach. Morro Bay followed along with Los Osos, so we're seeing a lot of interest there in the coastal cities. So what does that all mean? Well, to answer the question on what I am seeing based on the trends, based on the changes in the stimulus money, changes on the infrastructure bill that potentially going to be going through the Congress. Also taking a look at the eviction moratorium, which has ended here on the in California, and then also talking about some micro level, not the macro level, but the micro level things with San Luis Ranch, Avila Ranch, and some other developments that are happening here in San Luis Obispo proper, the actual city. And other areas we're seeing some development. I see that coming soon, we're going to see that the prices are going to trend down. I don't think that there is going to be a housing crash. I think that the other fundamentals of the economy are going to be strengthened up by the government, and I also think that some of the issues that we had in 2008, 2009 are not present here in 2021. However, I do see a potential exodus of people that live here on the Central Coast, live in the county, of moving out of the area into other states, and people from the city moving here, like we talked about with that work from home. So that really is the thing that I'm seeing. I do see a potential softening, likelihood of softening of the market come next year, starting in December, January, February, and going into really seeing it in springtime, when we're going to see a lot of those homes that were previously tenant occupied. They're probably going to be going to the market because any investor is going to say, hey, you know, I'm going to now sell my rental property for top dollar because I can now evict my tenants. So we are going to see, I think, some conflict there with the tenants trying to find properties to buy, but then also an increase of that inventory. With that increased inventory and that those developments that are happening here in San Luis Obispo, I think, like I said, we're going to see that trend start to come more in the favor of the buyers. What does that mean for you? If you are a seller, I would suggest selling before springtime of next year, is if you were planning on selling anyway. I think that now we've really reached the point where you're going to get the best price for your house here on the Central Coast and California just in general. So sell before springtime, and if you're a buyer, I would say wait around till springtime if you can. Now, if you cannot, go ahead, let's take a look at the options available to you and find a great deal of property that fits, that checks off all the boxes for you. But I do think that there's going to be more opportunity for people come springtime with that increased inventory, which is what we typically see. Now, this has been an anomalous year. There's been some anomalies in the last couple of years with what we've seen with the lockdowns and things like that, the eviction moratorium, right? And so we haven't seen quite that inventory that we'd normally see. And we've seen that trend from the city with the work from home towards areas like here on the Central Coast. So that's a little bit of an update here, November 2021. Can't believe it's already November 2021. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it brought some value to you. If you're a buyer, seller, or investor, there are great opportunities out there. So don't lose heart. If you are a buyer, understand that it does take some perseverance to find your dream home, whether it's your first home or if it is your retirement home here on the Central Coast. The market here on the Central Coast, I think, is going to continue to be strong, but in the next year, I think we are going to see a little bit trend more towards a buyer's market. If you're a seller, like I said, get that home sold, I would suggest before springtime. And if you're an investor, of course, there are always good opportunities out there. And in another video, we're really going to look into how you can be a successful investor here on the Central Coast and some of the tools available. Like I said, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. It really means a lot to me and it helps me grow this channel. Thanks and have a great day.